I was on a call with a potential client the other day, and this person had built several successful companies. They were a multimillionaire, and they said to me, I just don't feel like I have anything worth sharing. I look at someone like Simon Squibb, who sold his company for hundreds of millions of pounds, and I think, why would anybody listen to me when they could listen to him? And that really stuck with me, because if someone with, that much tangible experience is struggling with this, then what does it say for, everybody else? And what that makes apparent is that it's not what you've done that allows you to help people, but rather it's what you believe. And this is something that's come up time and time again. I've probably heard this over 100 times in the last year, is that people just think that they don't have anything of value to share, and so they don't share anything. And when they don't share anything, they don't make any money. And when they don't make any money, it confirms their belief that they don't have anything valuable to share. And it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we're going to break that cycle today so that you can actually show up and be of service and be of value in the world and exercise your creative spirit. We need to share. It's like oxygen. You just need it. If you don't have it, you just constrict and stagnate. And at some point in time, the pain of not sharing is going to be so bad that you end up sharing anyway. So I think the root of this broken mindset comes down to our desire to have proof and evidence that we're capable of doing something before we'll actually do the thing. And sadly, you're not going to get proof in most cases before you actually do the thing. For me, I've always been really interested in creating. And to be honest, the stuff I was sharing in my early videos, it wasn't groundbreaking. What I'm sharing now, it's not groundbreaking. But the whole time, I've just been doing stuff in my life, learning from the things I do, and then sharing my perspectives, my lessons and insights. That's still what I do today, except my life has changed, so the stuff I share has changed. Now, if you don't start sharing in the first place, this evolution is never going to happen. You see, the fact of the matter is there's someone who is way less accomplished than you that is making videos, creating content, sharing their ideas right now, and they're making a good living off of it. And a lot of people are benefiting from what they're creating because they've taken the action step to actually create something. Maybe you have this idea that it's the most knowledgeable person in the room that's going to be listened to. Well, it's not actually. It's the person that shows up, and it's the person that people like. There's so many different ways to approach the same idea. And if you approach it from your unique perspective, there's going to be someone who vibes with your vibe. And that's what we're relying on here. Of course, having experiences, it's useful. But the other fundamental variable is who is sharing the information. And if you're sharing it in your way, with your setup, with your accent, your vibe, whatever it is, that's just going to attract certain types of people. And a lot of people just kind of forget about that, and they just focus on the external results. So don't be so concerned about what you've achieved, but be more focused on just showing up and sharing what it is you've been doing in your life. And I can't stress to you how important it is to just shut off that voice in your head that's saying, oh, this isn't useful. Because you're always going to say that to yourself. And until you tell that voice to shut up a few times and do the opposite of what it's telling you to do, you're never going to get that other voice activated. The one that's telling you, hey, this is a good idea worth sharing. When you do that, you start having shower thoughts of content ideas, and you'll be so excited to share it, and everything you do in your day-to-day life will be kind of viewed through that lens. It's like, oh, this was an interesting experience. How can I share that reflection to better someone else's life on the other end of the screen? If you don't open up those floodgates, the water's not going to come. And when you do open up those floodgates, a hell of a lot comes into your life, because you're creatively expressing yourself. You're invigorating, enhancing the lives of others through the knowledge that you're sharing. You're going to be reciprocated with finances if that's something that you want to do. And the whole world is just better off for it. So stop comparing yourself to other people You are not other people. You are not Alex Hormozy or Simon Squibb or anybody other than yourself. And that's why people will listen to you. You know, to be honest, most of those people, they're not even relatable. Like, most people don't want to build a $500 million company. So why compete with those people? Like, those are extreme outliers. But the everyday person, you know, who's done a few things here and there in whatever industry, that stuff is going to be super valuable to people. And I don't want to deceive you, so I'm going to call a spade here. This is difficult. It's not like you just start making stuff and then the next day your life is changed. I trust if you're here, you have the awareness that this takes time, dedication, commitment, effort, a willingness to iterate and to learn and reflect on what's working, what's not working. I really want to drive that point home, because this whole internet space gets a bad rap because people promise overnight riches and success and your whole life will change. It could, definitely could. More reasonably though, I say show up, start exercising your creative spirit for yourself, because it's going to enhance your life. Maybe you get some traction. Awesome. Maybe you develop a service. Awesome. You make a bit of money. Awesome. You make more money. Awesome. But the reason that we do this is for ourselves, because we need to share. Like, you need to keep that energy flowing. Like, so many times I'm having this conversation with people. It's like, I need to share. And I say, why don't you? And they say, oh, I have nothing to share. I don't know if it's just my brain, but I can see the most exciting story and the most mundane things that happen. And even people have exciting stuff happening and they still don't see the story. I have a friend, he's also a client, and he bought Bob Dylan's piano that was used to record many of the songs on his most famous album. And he didn't see the story in that whole experience. And I was like, dude, you've tracked down a long lost piano that has been used on some of the most popular songs on this planet, and you can't see the story in that. You can't see the value in that. So this happens no matter how exciting your life is. If you have the mindset that is telling you that what you have to share isn't worth sharing, you're not going to share it. Meanwhile, you can be boring. Like, I'm not that exciting. I still share stuff, and people find it useful sometimes. So you can just do that, you know? Like, you don't need to do the next thing before you do that. Because I promise you, if you take that same broken mindset that you have right now and achieve something else, you're still going to say, oh, well, I still haven't really achieved enough to talk about it. So I'll continue working. I'll get the next certificate. I'll try to reach another milestone, and then I'll share something. But you won't, because you still have the same broken mindset. And I say that with utmost love and compassion, because I know it's hard to hear something like this, and it's just clear as day to me that the only way to end this cycle is to do it today. You don't need more stuff. You don't need more knowledge. You don't need more experience to just start sharing. Like, when we get on to talking about offers and the actual business of it, that's a different conversation. But for now, get your phone out and hit record and talk about what you did last week or over the last 10 years or whatever it is you've got going on. Action is what changes reality. Reality does not cause actions to happen. You're not going to arrive at a reality where you all of a sudden are just compelled to make videos. You need to be compelled to make videos. And then that reality where you're making videos where people are receiving the value that you have to share takes effect. And that's how you start to learn. That's how you start to iterate and course correct. And that's what you've been doing your whole life to date. Anything you've ever achieved, it's because you did some sort of ugly version of it first, and then you realized, oh yeah, actually could have done that a bit better, and then you did it again and it got a little bit better, and then you realized, oh, I could have done that part better, and then you did it again. And that's how you get to your destination. That's how you get to your goal. Now, the thing is, we're talking about sharing ideas, and we get this whole like, oh, I'm afraid to be seen, and I get it. I've been there. I've had pretty much every possible exposure, from being a musician to acting to this stuff. I understand how scary it is to share your ideas, but it just gets easier when you start doing it. I promise you that. So we're going to take this old mindset that says I have nothing worth sharing, and we're going to replace it with a new one that says I have something worth sharing, and my value is created as I express what I have to share. That's what creates the value. That's what's going to give you the evidence, because the evidence can only come as a result of an input. The evidence is the output. So you got to do that for yourself. And I made a whole free mini course to help you with this as well, by the way. It's in the description. It's called 7-Day Creator. Helps you unpack the value, create content, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, there is a video that I've made here, and this video will show you everything you need to know to take your knowledge, to share it, and then to turn it into a profitable business. So you can watch that one next. I'll see you over there. Bye.